So I'm in a pick'em pool in football.
Uh-huh.
And I picked just like in 10 seconds for this week and ended up getting 12 of the picks right. But put a stupid low number for the tiebreaker score on Monday Night Football. And I would have won if Seattle had not kicked a field goal as time expired in the first half. The Bears gave up like 20 yards in the last 8 seconds or something, and Seattle was able to kick a 56-yard field goal. And if they had not kicked that field goal, I would have still won on points.
Or if you had not picked a stupid line. Howdy, it's Tuesday, September 18th, and this is episode 81 of Due for a Win, the Atlantic City and Casino Biz podcast. I'm Kyle Askin, joined, as always, by Craig Stone. What's good, Craig?
Ready to hear about your trip report that you went with your family. I have no the importance of 1981. I was in the middle of looking it up and then got distracted by actual job stuff. And
you're going to get yelled at in the Facebook group again, and then I'm going to have to do all of your work.
Did Tropicana open in 1981?
Yeah, that sounds right. I think Trop was 81.
Let's just claim that, even if it's totally wrong.
I do want to say that Trop was probably 81.
The Tropicana Casino opened in 1981 with no proof. I actually have not actually looked that up. But let's just say it.
Trop World?
Well, it's Trop World later.
Yeah.
That was a late name change. Their attempt to be family-friendly that flopped miserably.
I did not get you a Trop World shirt, right?
No.
No, it's
Bally's,
like Harrah's
Grand.
Bally's.
Harrah's, Bally's, and Bally's Park Place, and Bally's Grand.
Oh, Bally's Grand, yes.
Right, which was the location of the Golden Nugget /
one of the 800 names that casino has had.
Yeah. Previous
Golden
Nugget. The Atlantic Club, Hilton location, not the current Golden Nugget location. Very important to clarify.
ACH.
Yes. Many names.
Yeah.
I mean, it had like 3 names since I started going, so.
Was it the Hilton when you started?
I think it had just switched to the ACH.
Mm-hmm. The ACH was short-lived.
Yes, extremely. Because they switched it to Atlantic Club. ACH was like bad name. Just like the LVH was bad name.
Yeah, ACH and LVH, man. Memories. That's where I stayed the first either 2 or 3 times I went to Vegas, was the Las Vegas Hilton, later known as the LVH.
Previously known as the Intercontinental.
Yep.
Good talk.
Yeah. Good times. It's in one of the James Bond movies. I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
But
the one that's in Vegas.
Yep. Diamonds are... I don't remember.
We're full of just like guessing on things that we don't actually know about. I can confirm the Tropicana opened in 1981, though. That is
1921.
a fact. November of 1981, Tropicana opened. So now
any
you know.
Other casinos in AC?
Didn't look any of the other ones up. No, I don't have a list. So I know for a fact that you never went with your family to the LVH. Did you go with your family to Atlantic City? Boom, segued.
Nice segue. You need to retake over the hosting duties.
That was some serious laboring to get there.
Yeah, so I guess the main piece of information for this episode is going to be my trip report. I went to Atlantic City this last weekend, Friday and Saturday, with my family. I ended up... Yeah, I think we talked about this before, but I ended up booking a room for myself in Hard Rock, and my mom also booked a room for herself in Hard Rock, because she's also Diamond, so could do that without too many problems. And then I ended up using Hyatt points, or actually Ultimate Rewards, to book Ocean for one night for my in-laws. So I guess we can just do this chronologically. I got there... We got there at around 1 o'clock on Friday. And my mom had already been there for a little while, but at that point, and she mentioned that she was able to check in early, no problem, at the Hard Rock. So I also tried to check in, and it also went smoothly for me. The one thing that happened is my mom mentioned that she got upgraded to a suite without asking, and so they just offered it to her. So I figured I would ask to see if they had anything available, because with 2 children in tow, it would be much more convenient to have the crib in a different room than
Yes, of course.
the 2 of us and our older son were in, just so they don't wake each other up all night. But they said they had nothing available for me. But it later came out, my mom's like, yeah, like this host reached out from Hard Rock too, and so they must have looked up their play.
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
from Caesars or whatever, which is a thing that they can do. So, and probably also looked up my play and are like, what the hell is this guy doing?
I mean, to be fair, a host reached out to me when I booked with my Diamond tier match.
Oh, did they? So I'm the only one that's never had a host reach out to them?
Yeah, but I didn't get upgraded to any suite.
Mm-hmm.
Did the kids wake each other up the whole time?
There was a bit of that the first night. I think the second night was a bit more peaceful, but it was fine. They honestly slept pretty good. I'm quite lucky. I can't complain. My kids are both excellent sleepers, so, and always have been, essentially. So yeah, anyway, we checked in early at around 1. There was no problem. It's not like Caesars where you have to pay some fee or whatever, although I guess I'm Rock Royalty, so even if there was a fee, they wouldn't charge it to me most likely. But yep, we got in early. I walked over to Ocean after that and checked in my in-laws, and that was no problem as well. There were no lines in Ocean, to the surprise of no one. Although, rumor has it was supposedly sold out all weekend, right, Greg?
Yeah, because they were offering free rooms to the Hurricane Florence evacuees. So if you were in an affected area in North Carolina, South Carolina, or the southern tip of Virginia, you could go just book a free room. And they sold out of those pretty quick.
Right.
But, I mean, you say no line at Ocean, but in the Everything AC group, I feel like every week there's a post about, like, oh my goodness, the line at Ocean to check in is so long on Saturday afternoon. So it's not that uncommon that there's a crazy long line, but I don't know if that's just that they need to be more efficient or...
I will say at like 1:30 or so on Friday, there was 0 people actually in Ocean, period. So...
Ouch.
Yeah.
So this was the same weekend as the evacuees thing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think one of the Press of AC reporters, I think it might have been David Dances, was there, and he was posting pictures saying like, "Hey, nobody's in line," and I think they had a dedicated line also for the evacuees.
Yes, there was a specific line. I saw it when I checked it. That's like Hurricane Florence evacuees this way.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think it was him tweeting like, "Hey."
Believe me, every time I walked through Ocean, there was nobody there. So. Which I guess that's something we could talk about later or next episode or whatever. But
so
yeah,
what'd you
anyway,
do
it did not appear to be sold out to me. Anyway, so we got there. My younger son went down for a nap. My wife stayed with him. Kind of the in-laws of my parents and myself, and my older son walked the boards. We just walked down to the playground, I guess, and just walked through there. Didn't do anything. And then headed back up towards Hard Rock, and my younger son had woken up at that point, and we met at a Land Shark right outside the resorts to get dinner that night. And I have to say, Land Shark gets the official due for a win, avoid stamp. So it was A, reasonably expensive, especially expensive for what it was, and B, not very good. So
what did you have at Land Shark? Do you even remember?
I had the fish tacos, and they were horrible. And
horrible.
There was actually no fish. It was like a taco shell like you would buy at the supermarket with lettuce in it, more or less.
What? I don't even understand.
Like there was no fish.
Why not?
Because they're cheap.
But how is that a fish taco?
I mean, there was like fish, but... It was like the smallest portions of fish.
Was it like a fish salad? Was it even like a piece of like...
It was like the smallest piece of fried fish with like a little bit of whatever sauce and a lot of lettuce.
Disappointing.
It was pretty terrible.
That kind of fits with my experience. I mean, I just got like chicken tenders and fries or something, and I think what I told you was it tasted like something you'd expect to get at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore in like 1989, back before stadiums became foodie places where
right.
you get like crab cakes and fancy barbecue and stuff like that.
Yeah. So have you been across the boardwalk to the Margaritaville?
No, I mean, I'm assuming it's more of the same. It's both Jimmy Buffett branded stuff.
So I've been to the Margaritaville in Vegas, and I thought that was fine. So I wonder if we would have just had a better experience if we'd gone to the other side of the boardwalk instead.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Landshark is really selling the out over the beach location, especially if you can sit outside. Like, that's definitely what they're going for.
And Friday definitely was not the nicest weather in the world.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I was at the beach in Point Pleasant, and it was just a complete rain out. We actually came home a night early because it was just rain constantly and windy. Mm-hmm. We went out to the beach for like 15 minutes, and we were just like, this sucks. Let's go back inside. So, Landshark gets a big no.
We ate our disappointing dinner and then headed right next door to the Steel Pier, and 6 of us rode the low roller.
So how's that?
Expensive.
Expensive?
I don't know. I mean, so my 2 kids were free because it's 2 and under are free, and okay. I have a 2-year-old and a almost 1-year-old. It's an almost 3-year-old and an almost 1-year-old, but he was technically 2. And it was still $50-something for just 4 adults. I don't know. It struck me as expensive. Do you think that's reasonable?
I mean, how long was the ride?
I don't know. They said 15 minutes. I think it was probably closer to 10.
Yeah, that's a lot. Especially like after Labor Day. I feel like they need some like peak pricing and some off-peak pricing.
Yeah. So I think they have it. So it's usually $15 a person, but if you buy 3 tickets, it's like $31 or something, and then $15 for the 4th, and then it's like some ridiculous 20% taxes on top of that. It's like the same taxes as the hotel tax, like the tourism and entertainment tax or whatever.
It doesn't strike me as like so terrible, but I don't. I mean, was the novelty of it worth it?
It wasn't so terrible, but it was fine. My experience on the low roller was fine. Couldn't really see too much that night, so
yeah, that doesn't help.
But the booth was nice. my kids liked it.
Well, so that's a market.
We got everything out of it that we were looking for. And basically when that was done, it was essentially bedtime. So we went back, and that night I ended up staying with my kids for most of the night while they slept, and my wife went down and hung out with her parents because her parents were only staying the first night.
Did she do a bunch of gambling? Did she go crazy at the craps tables?
Gambling. The gambling was pretty even for actually everyone there, I think, except for my mother, who hit a jackpot within 5 minutes of getting there and won $7,000 and some dollars at a slot machine. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a big hand pay.
So, did she treat everyone to the high roller?
Unfortunately, no.
The low roller.
Yes. So anyway, Saturday morning we got up, and it was actually completely beautiful out. It was
really
a total 180. Saturday was just perfect.
Wow.
No, the weather it could not have been nicer on Saturday.
That's
so
amazing.
We went to Gilchrist's.
The Tropicana one or the Gardener's Basin one?
The Gardener's Basin one. So we did that for breakfast. We were the last booth on kind of the pier there, so that was amazing. Food, amazing, of course. As long as you don't get the turkey sausage or the hash browns. Home fries, I guess.
Had the family had Gilchrist before? Was this their indoctrination?
No, I don't think anyone had Gilchrist there except for me.
Did they rave about it as well?
Everybody. I think that was the clear winner of all of our dining and everything we did this weekend. I think everyone was blown away.
Nice, yeah.
It definitely helped that we were the last table on the pier, so you were right on top of the water. Yeah.
But the food is very good.
The food is amazing. So we had Gilchrist, and then we went to the aquarium afterwards, which I will say the aquarium is quite small, but pretty nice, actually. Like, they've got a lot of stuff to do and see in that small space, and there's a whole kinds of stuff you can actually, like, fish you can touch and things like that, so everyone had a good time.
My understanding is very small child-centric, like under 10.
My older son had the time of his life, basically. Like, he
Awesome.
was the perfect age for it, so definitely worth doing. And then, so we left the aquarium and just walked over to kind of the little, it's not even a beach there, but like the docks area of Gardner's Basin. There's some like old concrete, I don't know, something that was there that is broken, and it's kind of like this concrete beach now. And we walked around on that for a little bit, and my son ran around, but then we went back to the Hard Rock and just went to the pool for a little bit in it. It was nice. It was a little chillier than I would have thought it would have been for an indoor pool, but
Like
it was
the water?
Yeah, the water was.
Uh-huh.
It was not especially crowded, and yeah, it was nice. It was a pool that wasn't crowded, so that was exactly what we were looking for. Just did that for a little bit. And it was nap time for my kids, so I again stayed in the room with the children while my wife hung out with her parents before they left.
So was that your first Atlantic City pool experience?
It was the first time I've been to a pool in Atlantic City, yes.
Yeah, I've never been to one, I don't think.
And I don't think I've ever stepped foot on the beach of Atlantic City.
You haven't even, like, walked out, like, over the dunes to just walk out?
I don't think so.
That's unreal. I can't believe it.
I mean, I think we go to Atlantic City for different reasons usually.
That's true. But I think even my first trip, I at least, like, walked up that thing and stood up there and looked out at the ocean.
Also, my older son does not especially like the beach, and then my younger son just legitimately eats sand the entire time he's on the beach. He just will scoop it up and eat it. And so he's, like, banned from the beach, basically.
Good.
It's not great.
Sounds good.
It's not a good situation.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat that sand. That's not good.
No. I mean, no, like...
I wouldn't eat any sand.
I don't understand how his infant brain derives pleasure. Like, eating sand cannot be a pleasurable experience, but he loves it.
I mean, you get it in your mouth. Like, every once in a while, you'll be at the beach and someone will, like, blow in your mouth. Like, even just, like, a couple grains, right?
And it's terrible.
It's, like, all gritty
crunches
and,
around in your
it's,
teeth. And
it's horrible. What a horrible feeling.
He loves it. He just cannot get enough.
Next, you're going to go into your kitchen. He's going to have the foil out and just be, like, chomping on it.
Yeah. So anyway, we did the pool, then we did a nap. And then after they woke up, a couple hours later, we went down to Harry's for dinner.
Oh, nice.
And it was very good, as always. Though I know that we've had experiences there where it took longer than it should have, and it was that way again. It took a long time.
Yeah, it always feels like they have, I don't know, like 2 less waiters than they should have.
Right. They had 2 or 3 less waiters than they should have, and like 2 or 3 less cooks as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
the big thing was it took forever for our food to come out.
So is that a big downer, or was the food still good enough to make
The food
up
was
for
good. The food was good, and at least we always, whenever we go, we always order the kids' meals and tell them just to bring that out when that's ready. So at least the kids were eating, because if the kids weren't eating that whole time, it would have been a large problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, Harry's was good. It's always a really tasty and fairly inexpensive place to eat. Far better than Land Shark.
Yes.
And then we went back to the Steel Pier after that and bought some tickets. And my older son did some of the rides. Actually, my younger son did 1 or 2 as well. They're just the normal boardwalk rides. There actually is not very many. If you compare it to something like Ocean City, Maryland, it's way fewer rides for kids than Ocean City, or even for adults, honestly.
So are the rides reasonably priced? I always feel like the ticket deal is a huge ripoff, because you're at, like, if you look at what you're actually paying, you end up paying like, $4 for a ride.
Yeah, it's like most of the rides that my son was doing were 3 tickets, and they were basically $1 a ticket. So it's like $3 for each ride.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
And of course, I bought way too many, so I have a lot of Steel Pier tickets still.
Are they actual physical tickets?
Yeah, tickets. It's not like the Jolly Roger. It's not like a card.
Yeah, so the Point Pleasant also, Jenkinson's is a card. The cool thing is it's a card that works at the rides pier and several of the arcades.
Uh-huh.
So we did a bunch of rides, and then we ended up, in all the arcades trying to win a bunch of tickets.
Yeah, there's two different rides things right next to each other in Ocean City. There's the Jolly Roger, and then there's like Trimpers, and Jolly Roger is all card based, and the Trimpers is ticket based still. So anyway, so we did that, and then my younger son had to go up and go to sleep because he was melting. So just me and my mom. My in-laws had long since left by then, so it was just me and my mom and my older son out there, and we're like, what do you want to do, buddy? You can do one more ride. And he's like, I want to go on the Ferris wheel. So we paid again to do the low roller. At this time, my mother did pay, so her $7,000, some of that at least went to the low roller.
Nice. Yeah, you can't expect her to pay twice. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And it was much nicer the second time because you could actually see stuff, and it was later in the evening, so it was darker. So
cool. So would you recommend, like, say I'm going? Okay, so say Andrew and I go in October. Should we go? Should we go on the low roller?
Probably not.
Oh, really? That's disappointing.
If Vivian goes, you should go on the low roller.
Yeah, she would like it. She loves those rides, by the way. Like, she would just have a blast.
Yeah, so does Isaac.
Yeah, good to know. So, was that the end of your night? Did you get in any gambling?
Oh, so then I went in, and I managed to play a little bit the night before because my mother-in-law came up at some point and relieved me after the kids were sleeping, and I went down and played a little bit of Pai Gow poker, and then
in the gorgeous
Saturday night I went
Asia
down
room.
and played tiles and poker again. Yeah, all Asia room. I didn't really do anything else.
So this is all at Hard Rock, no Ocean.
Only Hard Rock. I mean, Ocean, they don't even know that I existed, which is better.
Yes, of course.
Because I booked with High Points, so. And presumably they could, like, try to match the names together, but they probably don't do that.
I'm going to guess they don't have their act together enough to do that. Caesars might. I would not be surprised if Caesars did. So, didn't gamble a ton.
Didn't gamble a ton. I'm up to 32 comp dollars now at Hard Rock. So.
Well, that more than doubled what you got.
Yeah, I added like 20 more bucks, or 20 more bucks to it. Yeah, it was like 12, and now it's 32.
Yeah, that's a decent amount. It's also 2 nights.
Yeah, it was 2 nights.
Yeah.
And that was the only place I gambled. And I mean, I was, just because I wasn't doing it a bunch, I was doing higher bets than usual at the tiles and the poker, and I was doing $40 a hand instead of 20. So
you said you mostly were pretty even?
I was even, yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I was even. I think my wife was maybe up a little bit. I think everyone was like essentially even, except my mom won a huge jackpot in slots. So.
I mean, that's good. Good for the family trip. I feel like that always happens, like probably mostly because you just gamble less, but when you have family there, it seems like it goes better than when it's just a gambling trip.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think the fact that I only played Asia games probably helped as well.
That's true.
So Sunday morning we just woke up. I was actually like, free buffets. Maybe we can just go to the buffet before we leave in the morning. But apparently the Hard Rock buffet only is lunch and dinner.
What?
So,
well, that's good to know, because I had that on my list with the free buffet coupons for my potential trip as a breakfast option. But if that sucks.
Only lunch and dinner. So instead we walked next door to the Double D at Resorts.
Oh, the Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes.
That's,
because my son loves him a donut.
Of course. I mean, how could you not? Did he get the toasted coconut?
He likes the strawberry with sprinkles or whatever, like the pink sprinkles.
Yeah,
is his favorite.
That was my donut of choice as a small child. It's incredibly sweet with the strawberry frosting. So good.
That's what they like. So anyway, we just ate Dunkin' Donuts and then headed out, and here we are.
So thoughts on family, bringing the kids?
It was great. It was an awesome trip. It went way better than I thought it would, honestly. I was a little worried that maybe we wouldn't have enough to do, or we were going to have problems just with the noise, let's say, in the hotel, or the kids keep waking up. But it wasn't bad at all. It went well. The pool was nice. So it's definitely something that we're going to be doing again.
So it seems like, there was a lot of stuff for them to do, which is good. You said you did steel pier. Obviously, when kids take naps, that eats up part of the day, so it's not like you have to fill.
And especially when you're like on vacation and they're like extra tired. Right. It was like the nap on Saturday was like 2.5 hours or something. So it was a lengthy nap.
So it doesn't seem like you had any trouble figuring out stuff to do. But then, how was like did you ever feel like you were someplace kids shouldn't be, or did it feel totally like No,
it was fine.
Because I know there's certainly a school of thought that's like, hey, don't bring your kids to the casino.
Oh man, so Isaac, my older son, every time he walked through the casino, I think his brain exploded, basically, because I can't imagine what walking by a bank of slot machines is like to a 2-year-old, but
I'm 34 and I still get that experience. So
right.
I really can't imagine what a 2-year-old must think when they...
Yeah, a few times he's like, I want to sit there.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Oh man. I would have to stay at Ocean if I brought Vivian, because I would not be able to get her to not sit at a slot machine and bang on the buttons. It would be impossible. It would be absolutely impossible.
No, I could definitely understand that. Luckily he's like reasonably well behaved usually. No, it was good. It was a really fun time, and if anyone out there listening is on the fence of whether or not they should take their family to Atlantic City, I highly recommend it. And just about what you said, if I was worried about any of the situations we were in, or like if you thought it was weird that we were there, I don't think so, but I suspect that there's other people that have different, feelings, risk tolerances, like parenting styles than me that might feel very differently, but we're pretty laid back. So
yeah,
all good.
And honestly, to those people, I would definitely say look into Ocean, because you can go down. You can't go straight to the casino floor from the hotel, so you can just avoid it. Like you could bring your kids to Ocean and they could never see the casino machines. Obviously the other options
can't do that at Hard Rock.
And then obviously the other option would be Showboat, which doesn't have a casino, but
I would not take kids to Showboat
just because it'll scar them for life.
Yeah, I think it's. I haven't stayed there since it is in its current iteration, but my impression is that it's the like party hotel. That's where like all the club kids come down and stay.
Yeah, so we talked about that interview on the No Vacancy podcast, and one of the things the general manager was saying is that they get a big overrun from club people going to like neighboring casinos and stuff. So yeah, that's probably.
I personally would not stay at the Showboat with my family. At least not the first time. If I stayed there once myself and that was okay, then I'd consider it. But
another option would be Havana Tower in Tropicana, because you're so far away from the casino.
You could do that. I think that would be reasonable.
And there is a lot of stuff at Tropicana.
You can even honestly do West Tower, except it's not nice at all.
Right. Havana Tower is nice and far away, so you could do all the quarter stuff. They've got, shows, and they've got a bunch of non-gambling entertainment, so IMAX theater and stuff. So that would not be a bad option either.
It wasn't walking through the casino wasn't a problem at all. So
yeah, I'm sure there's just some people who are like, not feeling you. Well, like I wouldn't want to deal with having to, like, basically being required to walk my kid past all the machines every time, just because I feel like she'd go nuts and run through it and try to press people's buttons, both in terms of their like psychological buttons of being annoyed that there's a kid running through the casino, but also their actual slot machine buttons. So one funny thing is we played at the arcades a bunch. And she wanted to play all of the junky, like shoot the ball, like drop a ball into this whole tiny jackpot hole and win a bunch of tickets, or like push the coins off the thing and win a bunch of tickets, which is all just like gateway to gambling, right? And then, all that I was fine with. Like I did all that stuff as a kid. But then she sat down at one of the like video poker machines and she's like, I want to play this. And I was like, this is where I draw the line. Like, I'm not going to have you play. For one thing, like you're going to be bored out of your mind playing this card game, which I told her, like, you're going to find this boring, which just hurt my soul to say that someone's not going to like Jackster better. But, my 3-year-old is not going to like Jackster better. Slots, there was an option for slots, which she probably would have loved, but like I just don't want my kid playing slots. There is a line I draw somewhere, and apparently that's it. It's also like the most expensive way to get tickets at those stupid things.
Yeah.
Because like every other game is like 50 cents, and then video poker costs 5 credits a hand or something. So it's like $2.50 or something crazy for like just to win tickets, to not even win actual money.
Yeah, may as well do that in the Caesar's High Limit Room, right?
I know. Yeah. So I was looking at it, I was like, I wouldn't play this at the casino. Anyways, so that was my non-AC trip.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about your offers there, getting an AC?
Oh, sure. So I my last sort of where I left off with Hard Rock was I got a mailer. I got a mailer saying 2 nights a week through, I can't remember if it was September, October. I think it was through October. And then I got an email saying, like, join us 2 nights a week through October, Monday or Tuesday. And I was like, oh, that sucks. Well, I guess that's clarifying the 2 nights a week. So I since got an email that said 2 nights a week with no clarification, and then gave me links for each separate week. And so in October, I think. And so you clicked on any one of them. No, it was the rest of September. It was like the last 3 weeks of September. So you clicked on any of them, and it would take you to the entire week and show you which ones you got comped. And so I'm getting 6 nights a week, and I just can't get Saturday. And Saturday is like $239. So like 6 nights a week, that's about as good as I probably could really expect. So that's not too bad. Obviously, it's sort of the Tropicana model if you get Tropicana email offers, where it's like you maybe are getting an offer for next week, and maybe they're giving you like 2 or 3 weeks out, or at least that's what I get. In the email offers, the mailers are longer term. But.
Trop usually I have whole months at a time, but the one that I get all the time is Resorts emails me every week and says like, hey, because I usually get Sunday through Thursday at Resorts, which I think is changing to Sunday through Friday in October, but normally, I'm Sunday through Thursday, so I'm no Friday, no Saturday. But then every week they'll email me, especially now it's kind of started up in earnest again, and they're like, hey, you can come stay this weekend if you want.
So, I used to get that from Resorts back when I actually was in Resorts' good graces, but Tropicana, what I get is usually the week before I get an email saying you can get, whether it's Sunday through Thursday, Monday through Thursday, Sunday through Friday, like some, depending on how booked up they are for the next week, I'll get some. So I'm assuming that's just, that I'm at a sort of class of player where they, don't want to give me offers long term. Like we'll keep our flexibility open until you're a week out. The big thing to me about this Hard Rock email is that it let me book online. So, I mean, I didn't, but I could have booked it online, which is a big addition for them, that puts them ahead of Resorts and Golden Nugget, certainly, where you have to call. So that was cool.
So just for the listeners, I checked my Hard Rock right before the show started, and I went to the Your Offer section, and it just had an error on it. Yeah,
I'm really surprised that you haven't gotten... I mean, I obviously give it a few weeks to cycle through your latest
mailers,
play.
Like, I get nothing from them.
Yeah, I'm really surprised you haven't gotten a mailer, but maybe your higher play in the Asia room will help, because I do think going up from like $20 to $40 probably makes a huge difference in how you're rated.
I would say it would double it.
Yeah, I mean, I almost wonder if it even sort of like, yes, it's obviously twice as much, but I wonder if they sort of the value to them is seen as even higher if you're playing higher than a minimum. I feel like there is a theory that like if you sit at like you're better off playing $25 at a $15 blackjack table than $25 at a $25 blackjack table. Have you heard that?
No. I mean, it's possible that it's like that, but my suspicion would be that it doesn't matter in the system.
If only we knew somebody who knew all the ins and outs of comps.
Well, I don't know anyone like that, so...
Yeah. I've had to filter his name from our email because of all the hate mail I get. Sorry, Eric. Can't even keep up anymore.
Yeah, if the word Eric is anywhere in the email, it goes to the deleted items.
Yeah, so if anybody's Eric that's not Eric Rosenthal that's emailing me, I'm also not getting your emails, sorry.
Unless you're Eric with a K, then you're good.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Erica, though, you might have some problems.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it just picks part of a word.
Too bad for that.
So... Resorts, which we mentioned, I actually, I played there, maybe an hour and a half. I played some quarter slots and some Willy Wonka. I'm now getting a mailer again from Resorts, which I was so happy about when that came. I was like,
see,
yes.
Craig, this is what happens when you go there and let them know you're alive.
Yeah, I mean, I did a little more than let them know I was alive. I think I earned 4 comp dollars, which, like, that's probably more than I've earned in a single day at Resorts ever before.
No, you let them know you were alive. That's what that counts for.
If
you earned 4 tier credits, then I would be impressed. But
so $59 weeknights in October is what I got, and I was like, oof, that's terrible. But then it said November comped Monday through Thursday.
Oh,
Monday through Thursday, so 4 nights a week. Good. I mean, I'm never going to be able to use. It's basically meaningless because I'll never be able to use any of those nights. But
I know we've talked about this in the past, but I am now consistently getting mailers every month from Golden Nugget with $59 weeknights.
Are you so excited to take them up on that?
I am not.
So do you just call them up and say, if I pay $69 a night, will you give me extra wet dog smell? Like, can you just pump it straight into the room?
I actually think if we go again, I think I might sort of want to do a marina trip because it's been a while since we've stayed out there.
Yeah, we've done very little marina lately.
Yeah. And I know that, I've mentioned that I want to stay at Borgata again before the end of the year. And I don't think anyone's stayed at Harrah's in a really long time, right?
No, I'm so off Harrah's. I would be interested in staying.
I think the last time we stayed at Harrah's may have been immediately preceding episode 1.
No, that's definitely not true. Didn't we stay there when I had my Paigao tiles? They came 20 minutes later to take my bed away.
Were we staying there that night?
Maybe not. Did you? Well, we stayed there right before you had your first kid. And we were podcasting.
I stayed in Harrah's that night. You were in Borgata, I think, with Paul.
The night that
Is that right?
The night that I got my bet taken back. Yes, that night I was at Borgata. That's right. But yeah. But I think it was like very, very early in the podcast we stayed at Harrah's. Anyways. Yeah.
It was right before episode 1 because episode 1 had a trip report at Harrah's.
So I've never stayed at Golden Nugget. I would be interested in doing that at some point just because I've never done it. I think it's the only
$59 weeknights
casino I haven't stayed at. But yeah, I mean, for that price, it just seems really hard to imagine I would choose that. And then Borgata, I do sort of, especially since staying at the 2 newer casinos, I feel like I need a refresher to be like, hey, this place is still really great, which I'm sure if I went and stayed there again, I would be like, oh yeah, this place is amazing. Like, there are basically 3 great casinos in AC now. So
I think the battle for best in class this year will be very interesting.
It will be.
That's something to talk about.
We have
in 4 months' time.
Correct. And then to never post about it.
That's right.
Never post the list. It is only for listeners of the podcast. So other podcasts have Patreon. We have like listener exclusive. It's information you can only get by listening because it's not posted anywhere.
Did we not post last year at all?
No, I didn't do it because it was right before my second kid was born, and there was just never a time where I was like, let me sit down and type all this out because the previous years took forever. I guess I could have just posted a list.
The time is now, Craig.
Jeez. Anyways. Oh, so I had this thought. Well, let me ask you this first. After another stay at Hard Rock, how do you feel about Hard Rock? Still love it?
I think it's really fantastic. This wasn't another stay for me. This was my first stay.
Oh, so which tower were you in?
I was in the South Tower, so the old tower.
Okay, so same one I was in.
But the more renovated tower as well, I think.
So and the room was nice, same as my room?
The room was very nice.
Cool.
And I got to see the suite that they put my mom in, and that was nice. And I got to see the 47th floor room that I got for my in-laws in Ocean, and that was very nice. So I think in terms of room product, I do think Ocean is probably the best.
Yeah. It's very tempting because I do wonder how much they're going to be generous to players, especially in the off-season. So
yeah,
it's tempting to just go there and be like, I'm just going to play a bunch of video poker and slots there and see what happens.
You're going to build your comps up before they shut down again.
Boy, I really hope that's not what happens.
For the record, I do not think that's what's going to happen. So,
yeah, maybe we can talk more about that next episode with the data.
Yeah, I think we are going to try to... We do want to talk a bunch about the August results which came out, but I think we decided before this episode started it was going to be a little long for this episode, so we're going to get to that in episode 82. So we're not done yet, so you can't turn off your radio yet, quite yet. But we will end on a cliffhanger.
So I'll just close off with one last thought about the Players Club stuff. Is I got that 6-night-a-week offer at Hard Rock, and I was like, well, that's the best I'm going to get anywhere. So that's great. Except then I was thinking about it, I was like, well, but them and Tropicana and Resorts, like, they all sort of send you your offer that they say, you know, Monday through Thursday in October or whatever, or November. And then it's not going to get any better than that, right? Like, you're not going to call and be like, hey, maybe Friday, and they're going to be like, no, you have $4 get out of here. So that's one big advantage for me.
Resorts does do that for me every week.
Right, they do send you that. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But, like, Total Rewards, like, the pricing is so dynamic, right? Like, it can change multiple times within a day. So, you know, you may go on and be like, oh, well, I'm getting 6 nights a week now, but, you know, if I wait the week of, and I know it's
Let me
really
open
slow,
up Firefox and I can get all 7.
Yeah, that I think they fixed that. But, you know, certainly if you're going off season, you know, like I said, I used to go for my anniversary several years in a row, and basically it was like a lock that if I waited, it would happen. So,
yeah, I mean, I know that's what we've traditionally done, is, or at least me especially, whenever we go with our friends, they'd all be nervous about getting their hotel rooms in time, and I always was just like, I'm just going to book like 3 days before, because it's going to be free then. So we just have a little bit of news that we want to blow through really quickly, or so I hope. So first, at Tropicana, El Dorado Resorts got a temporary approval from the Casino Control Commission, which is, as you know, Craig, right next to the Piccalilli.
yes.
To take over the ownership of Trop from Carl Icahn. Is there much to say about this? I mean, we knew that this was, well, we didn't know that this was going to happen, but certainly it was expected to go through when they put in their bid and sold it, or bought it from Icahn. Yeah,
I mean, we've talked about this a little bit, that El Dorado has sort of said they're going to strip down the comp offers, so we'll see if that actually ends up happening soon. El Dorado Resorts, company based in Reno. This is a $1.85 billion acquisition of Tropicana Entertainment, so it's not just Tropicana in Atlantic City. It's 7 casinos. That does not include Tropicana Las Vegas. It's like, I forget what all the casinos are. No, I didn't do my research on this, but they still need a full casino license. They're still waiting to get that approval, and I'm assuming once that happens, they'll be like fully running the joint.
Yep. And cutting comps as promised.
Yeah. That's why you got to get your Hard Rock comps.
I do have to say that, especially with the current climate in AC, and especially given how well Tropicana's been doing, I can't imagine cutting comps is a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, they're filling the place.
Like, people are looking for a reason to switch casinos anyway, with the 2 new casinos that are open, and like, Trop has been the real success story of the last few years.
Yeah, changing the model does not seem...
Why poke the bear?
Yeah, it seems like a bad idea.
But what do I know?
Yeah. Less than El Dorado Resorts of Reno, Nevada.
That is certainly true.
So we also got some info on Tropicana Sportsbook, which is the last holdout, the one that we didn't hear much about, which is that they are also going to be a William Hill Sportsbook.
Are you excited that you can use your player's card at another casino now?
I mean, it seems there's just absolutely no benefit to it. The good thing is it seems like William Hill tends to have the best lines of any of the New Jersey sports books, so that's good, although I think the downside is generally like less competition's rarely a good thing for the consumer, right? Like, having fewer different entities running the sportsbook is probably not the best thing for you in the long run. I'll link to an article about it from Grant Lucas in on PlayNJ.com that talks about this whole thing and how they were kind of the last holdout. Presumably, this means that they will be able to get their online presence up very quickly, although I'm not sure how they'll separate out profits on whatever the standard William Hill app is between Ocean and...
Yeah.
I'm assuming they've had that deal like long since worked out with Ocean and Tropicana, but who knows?
Yeah, I'm sure that there's some way to do it. I don't know if you can select a casino or if it's 2 different apps for I don't know. I mean, there's a million ways they could do it. So,
well, speaking of sports books, I'll just recommend Vegas Confessions episode 25 if you need a longer intro into your sports betting options. Kelly and Eric did a really good job of breaking down, especially football bets. One thing that, for some reason, I never think about this is just doing a parlay. Like, I always just bet on one game and then sort of follow the game. But it's probably it's way more fun to be like, okay, give me 3 games, and I'll actually have a chance to make some real money.
So I used to bet somewhat often using offshore, online, whatever, like internet sites.
Perfectly legal.
Yeah,
on the up and up.
It was legit. But, yeah, like, basically the only thing I did, or the thing I did the most by far, was parlay. So
yeah, I don't know why I never think about it. It's very odd.
You know, you just like, yeah, I'm going to do like the 16 parlay. It's going to be awesome. And then the first team loses. And you're like, well, shit.
Yeah. But yeah, that's episode 25 of Vegas Confessions. I would recommend it. It's like somewhere about halfway through the episode they start talking about it.
I think it was towards the end, but I don't remember. So I think the last piece of news that we want to talk about today is that there was a state audit of CRDA, and oh boy, it was not good. It did not reflect well on the CRDA. So do you want to talk a bit about what came out?
Yeah, so that's the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, which is supposed to be this independent state whatever run organization, right, that takes basically payments from the casino that are supposed to then get turned into helping the city as a whole get better, which, you know, once you hear that mission statement, you probably already have an idea of their success.
I mean, they were successful at eminent domaining a lot of property and then not paying any property tax on it.
Yeah, so they've like land banked a bunch of stuff. They've given some money to existing casinos to, you know, do general improvements on those casinos. They haven't
make
done
the casinos look better.
Yeah, a whole lot to actually improve the neighborhoods and stuff like that. You know, Route 40, I think, has done a ton of reporting on this. But so basically, this audit concluded that they failed to monitor costs and contracts specifically relating to Miss America, and that includes what we talked about a couple of years ago, which was when they renewed the Miss America pageant with Dick Clark Productions. There was this deal that they were going to also have a presence in Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, which is national broadcast television, so supposedly it would give some good exposure to Atlantic City, and it just fell through, and they were like, maybe next year, and then like you just never heard about it again. And so what this audit found was they just couldn't find any record that the CRDA ever attempted to book an act or ever attempted to like reach out and even to Dick Clark and be like, hey, let's actually make sure this happens. Like, it seems like there's just no record of that at all, which is kind of disheartening and frustrating. So then the follow-up to that, I'll link to an Amy Kuperinski article on NJ.com. The follow-up is a David Danzis article in Press of Atlantic City where he talks to a bunch of city elected officials and state assembly and Senate, I think, elected officials who were basically like, yeah, this is really disappointing. Clearly this is not what the CRDA should be doing, but we're not going to change anything. Like, we're not going to overhaul anything, or like basically sort of saying like, well, now Frank Gilliam, the mayor of AC, has an automatic position, so like that's some change. They have recently overhauled the board a little bit, but kind of weird that there's like doesn't seem to be much accountability here. So yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, so I guess a couple things on the CRDA. It's been a boondoggle for as long as we've been following Atlantic City, I think. And, you know, a lot of times people will complain, especially in the Facebook group. I remember it used to happen quite a bit. And they're like, you know, the corrupt city has ruined Atlantic City. Like, listen to all this, like, horrible things they did. And, like, everything they named was CRDA stuff, which is a state board, more or less, or it's a board that was put together by the state. It does have some city people on it. And, you know, one of the articles, I think one of the best articles I've read about the CRDA was a couple years ago, before we even knew them. Bill Sprouse put out a long form article about a CRDA meeting, which I probably should try to find and send to Craig so he can link it up. But it just, I mean, it did not reflect well on the CRDA at all, and it showed them as being completely disorganized, and just no one had any idea of what they wanted to do, and it was just a really, really fantastic piece of journalism by our friends at Route 40. I mean, I think it's still like one of my favorite articles, or probably my favorite article I've ever read about Atlantic City.
Was this the one about the zoning overlap and how somebody
Yes.
wanted to do? Yes, so that's an excellent article. I agree completely. I actually just went back and reread it maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago because I wanted to sort of brush up on the CRDA stuff. And the weird thing about it is that it's like there's these overlapping, I forget what they call them, basically like distance that you have to be from other properties that makes certain properties completely useless. So you can't build anything on them.
I mean, I think just the thing that I got from that article, and I did not go back and reread it recently, so it's a couple years old for me now, so I don't even know how accurate this is going to be, but my impression now as I think back on it is just that I believe the impression I got is like, wow, nobody on this board has any idea of what they're doing, and I think even like in the meetings, they're just like didn't know what was going on at all.
Yeah, so there was sort of talk back and forth about like what the land is expected to be, whether it's, you know, these super mega resorts or like if you could actually allow these smaller developments and that kind of stuff. And there were these sort of hypothetical arguments back and forth, but nobody had any real answers, and nobody really even seemed interested in coming to real conclusions, and they just were so quick to punt it down the road. I'll try to find that article and link to it because it is really excellent and kind of sheds some light on what goes on there and maybe why things don't get done that you would think are no-brainers, or why, you know, it's much harder to make things happen than it seems like it should be.
So CRDA is a mess. I don't know if that's really new news to us, but it was just really ridiculous to see that they're not even, you know, they weren't even trying to do the basic function of their job and, you know, make sure that this contract that they signed, that they paid a bunch of money for, even had any reasonable chance to get fulfilled.
Yeah. Ugh.
All right.
We need a. Can you wake up Isaac and get him to come talk about his impressions of Atlantic City? We need a more positive vibe to end the show, Kyle.
I'd rather not. I think he's doing just fine sleeping right now.
It's no fun.
So I want to thank all of you guys, the listeners, for listening to us. If you want to reach out to us or talk to any of our other listeners, you can do so at facebook.com/group/DoForAWin. You can find all of our great content except for the best of 2017 at DoForAWin.com. If you want to get that, you have to listen to the podcast, which you can do at iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or TuneIn Radio. And who knows, maybe even that episode's on YouTube, but all future episodes won't be. You can reach out to Craig on Twitter at DoForAWin or send him emails at doforawin@gmail.com. Any last words, man?
No, just it's a positive note. Awesome that you had a great family trip in AC, and maybe something I'll keep in mind for next year.
You need to do it next year, like next week, man.
I do need a makeup because my beach trip was such a bust, right? Like, I feel like it was a huge failure. We were in a tiny 200-something square foot room trying to get 2 kids to go to sleep at the same time. Left a day early. The weather was horrible. Clearly, the only way to make up for that is to take them to a 47th floor suite at the Ocean Resort Casino in Atlantic City.
Yeah, man. 12,000 ultimate rewards. That's all it takes. But anyway, the family trip was awesome, and I highly recommend any of our listeners who have kids to do it.
Yeah, cool. Free play. Panini grill giveaway. That's what I need.
So yeah, you usually probably don't get a lot of the stuff that casinos give away, do you?
No, very rare.
Yeah, it's like AC, it's nonstop for me. Trop resorts, all the CET properties are like, come get a tier credit and get like some random piece of shit that no person should ever want in their house.